Hey, and we are live here on YouTube for the Brickyard 400. Welcome on in. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. And for once, we have a race that I actually know the name of off the top of my head. I'm having to look up the exact race name because so many of the races have all these different sponsors on them. All right, there we go. We are here. We're ready for this one. We got the in-season challenge results, I believe. We got in-season challenge results right up here. We will be tracking those throughout the day alongside the actual results here. But yeah, sorry about being a little bit late. We were running a little bit behind schedule with getting stuff like thumbnail done, but we are here. We are ready for this one. But yeah, they're almost through the starting grid. We're just going to break down our top 10 here. Honestly, a very fun looking top 10. You got Hocevar and Suarez on the front row. Reddick, Gibbs, Hamlin running at the top 5. Hey, Trev, how's it going? But yeah, then we got McDowell up inside the top 10. All 3 Spires cars in starting 6th or better. That's impressive. Then we got Corey Heim at 7th. Alex Bowman at 8th, who we got a lot to talk about with Alex Bowman. AJ Allmendinger in 9th, and then Kyle Larson will round out your top 10. Chase Briscoe just outside the top 10 in qualifying. The hometown kid looking for that first Indy win. He did say in the media, by the way, that this would be bigger than an Daytona 500. So, and I have no reason to not believe him. So we should be expecting some big things from Briscoe today. All right, but yeah, that I think is everything nice and quickly wrapped up, and we are ready to proceed. So, welcome on in. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. Do 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 do. All right, we're just chilling here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. We got Akma Smith on the pit road here. And then we got 160 miles or 160 laps, 400 miles of racing to go here. And yet they're talking about this in-season challenge. We got Ryan Blaney starting 13th. Meanwhile, 13 spots behind him, it will be Todd Gilliland. Poor Chase Elliott starting all the way back in 27th. Yikes. After finishing 4th in the O'Reilly race yesterday. I didn't actually get to see the finish the O'Reilly race yet. Yeah, primarily just because I got to see like the top 3 or so. But yeah, I was out of the office yesterday. We'll probably talk about what I was out doing here in a bit. But yeah, it was fun. We we had ourselves a good time, and yeah, we will be getting ready for this race though. Interesting in the in-season challenge. My feelings last weekend, Elliott got penalized and kind of took away his chance at the million from him. Yeah, I was out of studio last week, so I didn't happen to notice what happened to Elliott there. How is everyone doing? And prayers from McDowell family. Did I miss Michael McDowell news? Like, what happened to McDowell? But, again, looks like lights are off on the pace car, so we will be getting ready to go racing here shortly. Yeah, I did see the result. I saw Carson Quapple got the win. That was pretty cool to see. There we go. Pace car is off. Field in the hands of the Spire Motorsports cars as we get ready to go. Green, green, green. Green flag is out. We are racing here at the Brickyard. Hocevar and Suarez take the green flag here as they make the legendary run down to the yard of bricks. Yeah, and here we go. Everybody kind of stifling here. Oh, a big move from Larson to the inside here. Larson knowing that this is definitely a bottom lane track. It is going to be hard to make that high groove work. And yeah, Larson immediately making that point known by jumping to the bottom of the racetrack here. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see anything. Oh, his dad died last night. Oh man, hate to hear that. I, yeah, I had not seen that, but man, hate to see that. Hopefully, he can go ahead and get another Indy win. But here we go. All right, we're locking in here. One lap down, and many more to go. But right now, Ryan Blaney making some moves here, trying to climb up even further up the board than he already was. Again, he's one of two drivers looking for that $1 million win today. But yeah, here we go. All right, down to the bottom. Here comes Briscoe. Briscoe putting a block here. Not sure who's that on. That is Briscoe. I believe that's blocking Busher. Yeah, it looks like it was Busher that he was blocking there. As yeah, everybody's kind of just settling in here for a nice long run. Say the 24 of Byron with a nice move there up the inside. For a pass on. Not sure who that was. Hard to tell because a lot of the drivers are running different paint schemes this weekend, and I have not gotten a chance to see that one. But yeah, Ryan Blaney up to 12th here. So McDowell got passed by Heim and Larson already, so a little bit of a slide back here at the initial start. But as I know we're kind of getting into this one, we'll go ahead and talk a little bit about Alex Bowman. It was announced earlier this weekend that Alex Bowman will be stepping away from auto racing. Earlier than it, I think most people probably anticipated he will be retiring following the end of the 2027 NASCAR season. So he will run the rest of this year and the full next year. But that will be it, and he will be doing it in a new car number. As it was announced earlier this morning that he will vacate the 48, which will free it up for Jimmy Johnson to run that when he runs his final NASCAR Cup Series race at Daytona early next year. So, not sure what number Alex Bowman will be driving next year, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. But Alex Bowman, he's had an incredible career, 10 years at Hendrick Motorsports, and he looks set for another couple years here. As he's got the rest of this year and next year, and Hendrick now has a year and a half to decide whether Corey Day is the guy, whether they want to go chase someone like a Connor Zillage or somebody else. But yep, so that is the Alex Bowman news of the day. But yeah, there we go. We're settling into position here. Again, Toyota's making up 3rd through 6th. 4 Toyotas lined right up. 2 Gibbs and 2 2311 cars. Alright, so again, we're chilling out here pretty good. Getting everybody settled into the run here. Todd Gilliland continuing to try and chew through the starting grid. He's up, I think, about 3 or 4 spots from where he started. Problem is, Ryan Blaney is also up about 2 spots from where he started, so Gilliland is still not moving up as much as he would like to have. By this point, you would imagine he's hoping that he can move up, potentially up into the number 1 spot, or at least number 1 spot in the in-season challenge here soon. But it was always going to be a long, drawn-out battle here for the in-season challenge. Best finish on the year for AJ Allmendinger, a 5th place at San Diego. He has had a really rough go of it at the road courses this year. And the ovals haven't been all that much better to him for AJ Allmendinger. And he is still okay in the point standings, at least in terms of compared to how he normally is. But obviously, he hopes for a little bit better. Alright, here we go. Alright, let's pull up the screen challenge so I can actually see it alongside you guys. So yeah, Ryan Blaney up to 12th, so he's moved up one spot. Todd Gillen, he's drifted back down to 34th. He was up to 32nd, I thought, at one point. So Blaney's up one spot. Todd Gillen's only up 2 spots here. It is going to be something we're going to have to keep an eye on here, but yeah, that will be something we are going to have to keep an eye on as we get further and further into this one. Bubba Wallace, last year's Brickyard 400 winner, trying to make up some spots here as he had a little bit of a rough go in qualifying. He is outside the top 20 here, but he has 2 6th place finishes as of late. North Wilkesboro last week and Chicago 3 weeks ago. But Carson Hocevar just driving off to a nearly to a 2.5, 3 second lead here early on in this one. There we go. Again, we are just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody is having a good time today. So again, everybody's kind of getting ready. Everybody's kind of settling into position. It's long drawn out, and I'm incredibly impressed as to just how spread out it's gotten so quickly. But it does look like we are set for a long drawn out run here. We are just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody is having a good day today, but we are just chilling out here. Man. Man. Definitely a fun weekend, but a long one. For those of you guys who don't know, I guess I'll just talk about why I'm fairly tired here. For those of you guys who don't know or don't follow me on other social media, I was out at I was down in Portland, Maine at a banana ball game between the Texas Tailgaters and Loco Beach Coconuts. First time ever getting to go to a banana ball game. It was a ton of fun. Definitely different from traditional baseball, but it was a lot of fun getting to watch everything going on. So yeah, there we go. Yep, got to see that game play out. It was a fun game. Wish it had been a little bit closer, but yeah, I think Coconuts ended up winning 4-2 or 5-2, something like that. Yeah, Hocevar, though, still holding on to about a 2.5 second lead. Suarez eating into it ever so slightly. Meanwhile, Austin Dillon getting passed by everybody here. Austin Cindric going by him. And here we go. Everybody's kind of making their way past Austin Dillon here in a hurry. Not sure if there's a problem with Dillon's car or if he's just slow. So now you got Connor Zilic breathing down his neck here. I'm not sure where 80 is on position, but given the fact that he's getting passed by rookie Connor Zilic, I'm guessing he's not doing the greatest. But again, we're 15 laps into this run. The stages, by the way, are 50 laps, and and 60 laps to the finish. So we're breaking it up pretty much in thirds. Should be a good one here. Yep, so Austin all the way back in the 30s. Back there with his brother. But yeah, the fact that Tyler Reddick has drifted so far back, he's nearly 70 points behind Denny Hamlin for the regular season championship and that number 1 seed going into the chase. So we got a long way to go there, but Todd Gilliland also looks like he's kind of just gotten stuck in 34th here. It will take probably a miracle here for Blaney to drift back that far. Alright, so yeah, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody is having a good time. Austin Dillon has now drifted all the way back behind Gilliland. Gilliland jumping up a spot there. But man, again, I want to know what's wrong with Dillon's car. Blaney's up to 12th here, so he's still only up to 1 spot while Gilliland's up 3 now. But again, so this field's starting to get very spread out. I'm curious what it'll end up looking like when we start getting some lap traffic involved here, which we're at 30 or so seconds, so we're probably pretty close. Lap times around here are about 51 seconds, so we should see Hocevar catching the back of the field here in around about 10 to 15 laps. So around lap 25 to 30 is when we're expecting to see lap traffic get caught, assuming that we don't have a caution before then, which, with how spread out the field is, I think you'd have to have a really dumb incident for a caution to come from that. Alright, here we go. We're back. So they're back from their commercial break here. Again, Suarez continuing to drift just a little further back from Hocevar each lap. Hocevar now up to nearly 3 seconds of gap between himself and Suarez for that first and second position, but it does seem like the Spire cars have a fair amount of speed, given the fact that even McDowell has managed to hang on to that 8th place position here. I would almost ask the question, is there a situation where it's just too hard to pass to the point where Hocevar was able to jump out this early lead? Now, obviously, Hocevar is a great driver, but I'd be curious if we see him pull the same type of thing on a restart with a better car behind him, because we know the Spire cars aren't the greatest on speed, although Suarez by no means is bad. Yeah, it'd be one thing to see if Hocevar does the same thing to, say, a Reddick or a Hamlin on a restart. It's like, okay, is it dirty air or is it just Hocevar is that great? Because if Hocevar's car is that great, I mean, we might be in for a real domination show, quite similar to last week with Joey Logano just crushing the entire field. But if we don't see that, then we very well could end up seeing a situation where we could very well see a situation where we have an interesting race. Because, yeah, I think if we can get these cars to stay a little closer together, that'd be great. But here comes Austin Dillon down to his pit box. Let's say 4 tires and fuel here for the number 3 car. They will need to pit before the end of the stage, so he is going to try and get this early pit stop in, see if that helps him out. But at the moment, he's going to be a lap down, and it is going to be a question mark as to what can he do while a lap down. And we're starting to get to that window where in the next 5 laps or so, we're expecting to see, here comes Hocevar. Yeah, Carson Hocevar, he's on the same straightaway as the back of the field, so we are going to see some lap traffic come into play. If I'm Hocevar, the second I catch lap traffic, if they aren't moving over for me within the first couple of corners or so, I'm making the decision to pit right then. Because they're well within the window to make it to the end of the stage here on fuel. They can go about, I think it's 30-something laps on fuel, so they can go 35, 38 laps on fuel, so you can pit from here and easily make it. But we'll have to wait and see if that's how it ends up finishing. But 21 laps in so far, and Hocevar is crushing it. And it's like Corey Heim, Larson McDowell, a couple of guys moving forward and backwards. Cole Custer up to the 11th position. That's nice. Alright, well, again, just logging laps here at this point. We have not seen any major moves, which is kind of expected because, again, the field is getting spread out. But here comes Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott jumping onto pit road. Elliott jumps to pit road here. So Elliott comes to pit road. We got here we go. Christopher Bell and somebody are battling it out for position. That's the PPG car. Is that Logano in the 22? I know that's the 21. Sorry, of Josh Berry. Yeah, 21 of Josh Berry dueling it out with Christopher Bell further back. I'm going to turn this fan on. Hopefully it won't be too loud. But yeah, there we go. Elliott blending back out on track. He'll be a lap down, but he should be ahead of Austin Dillon in the event of a caution flag flying before they catch the back of the field. They're going through Indy's history here. They got the 94 inaugural race there. The first Formula One race back in 2000 to start the century. They only lasted, I think, 5 or 6 races on the IMS road course before they ended up getting themselves knocked out of there. Alright, yeah, again, here we go. Ty Dillon, Cody Ware jumping on pit road. Couple of those back markers. Hocevar's lead has dropped down to under a second. Oh boy. How did Suarez rally back? Actually, looking at the gaps to the rest of the field, Hocevar just slowed way up. Again, if you're going to slow up that much, you might as well have come to pit road, but here we go. So right now, 4 cars, 1 lap down. Elliott over Ty Dillon, Ware, Austin Dillon. But yeah, Hocevar is slowed way up here to see what, if anything, is actually wrong with him. But yeah, he is now allowed Suarez to get caught back up to his bumper. Again, showing the oh, and here comes the 19 of Briscoe, the first driver who's been relatively competitive coming to pit road. So Chase Briscoe jumping to pit road. Hey Dominic, how's it going? But yeah, so Briscoe jumps onto pit road. Did you see the NASCAR 26 diary? You have to be more specific because I've seen some NASCAR 26 news, but I have no idea if it was in the diary or if it's what you're talking about, unfortunately. Yeah, it's been a busy week, so good chance I may have seen it, but every time I've been cross-platform, I've definitely seen that one. Yeah, but we'll also see because if he's on fresher tires now, that means later in the run he's going to be on older tires and drifting backwards. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, again, Hocevar is slowed way down to this point. Here comes Byron to pit road. Yeah, again, I understood what you were saying. I just have I didn't watch the actual diary itself, but I've seen some of the news from the series, from the game, so I'm assuming that that's the information you're referring to. Ty Dillon speeding penalty. Ty Dillon getting caught speeding on pit road. Oof. At least I assume that's what the penalty might have been for, but doesn't actually specify whether it's a speeding penalty or an equipment penalty. But Ty Dillon on a pit stop here. All right, here we go. Let's see. Did he merge too soon? Oh, yeah, is a blend line violation for Ty Dillon, and it being the cause for the pit penalty, so he had to come back down. Kyle Larson on pit road now. Again, we're gonna have to wait and see how this all shakes out at the end. Yes, I did see the Bowman news. We mentioned that earlier today. But yeah, Alex Bowman retiring after the 2027 season. Next year, he will run a new number as he will free up the 48 so that the 48 can be used by Jimmy Johnson for his return to the to his final NASCAR race at Daytona International Speedway next year. So, yep, Alex Bowman retiring. I like that it sounds, for the most part, like it was his decision to step away, and it almost sounds like he's kind of staying on as a favor to Hendrick so they don't have to make this decision yet. But, yeah, again, Hocevar's been slowing up, and now he's caught lap traffic. Again, as I said, if lap traffic causes you to slow up, you should just hit pit road at that point. That'd be my recommendation. Here comes Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs to pit road. Ty Gibbs jumps onto pit road here. And yeah, we're going to start seeing this cycle going all the way through. But yeah, again, I'm happy for Bowman. He's had a pretty good career, but it's just kind of, there's always going to be the what ifs or what could have been if he had been able to stay healthier through some of those playoff runs. But again, I appreciate that it sounds like, again, they aren't telling him, hey, you're done. Yeah, they were letting him choose if it was his time or not. And then, again, from what I've heard, it sounds actually like he might be staying on a year longer than he ideally would like to, which, as long as it doesn't cause any, as long as the doctors and everybody involved are okay with that situation, it's not the biggest deal in the world. Sent out to pit road. Here comes McDowell and Allmendinger. Michael McDowell, AJ Allmendinger both on pit road here. Ty Gibbs going to blend back up. So here we go. Here comes Michael McDowell making his pit stop here. And let's see. 4 tires is in fuel for the 71 car. But yeah, there we go. And there's the 16 making his pit stop here. There we go. Here comes the race leader, Carson Hocevar, jumps to pit road, along with the 78 of Daniel Dye jumping on pit road. Casey Mears also follows the two of them down. So Hocevar, Dye, and Mears jump on the pit road. And that is going to hand the lead of the race over to Tyler Reddick and Daniel Suarez, who are currently side by side for what is currently the race lead. Suarez fights back to try and get it. Here we go. 3 wide down the back straightaway for second. 3 wide for second. Not sure who that is. It just took second away. Actually, looking at the scoreboard, that might be a lap car that's on fresh tires that passed Reddick. But if so, that's going to give Hamlin and Reddick some breathing room. But here comes Suarez. Daniel Suarez hits pit road. Smokes tires a little bit. Hopefully he did not speed on pit road. Austin Hill just came down pit road for 4 tires and fuel. 11.2 seconds for him. And yeah, we're going to have to wait and see where Daniel Suarez can go here. But everybody's cycling their way through the pit stops here. Should be a good one. I feel like it's better for it's for the best if he retired, getting injured, or pushing himself. It could really ruin his life. Again, and that's why I always said it should be up, that I wanted that decision to be up to him and his doctors, because obviously we can't see, like, we aren't seeing the medical charts. We don't know for sure what the medical advice is, and none of us probably are head doctors that could definitively say what is happening without seeing his specific data as well. So that's always kind of been my opinion on it, is that when it comes to retiring, that it should be, and I hope that it is his decision and not the team being like, hey, you're getting hurt too much, you gotta go. And from what it sounds like Hendrick is giving him that respect of letting him choose when he wants to retire, for the most part. So that's what I was saying the entire time, is like, hey, even you can go back to like the Phoenix race when he was first out with vertigo. It's like, hey, I might say that, yeah, I think if I was in his position, I would probably be at least considering retirement, but ultimately that is a decision that needs to be made amongst Alex Bowman, his family, and his doctors. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah. So, yeah. But again, Bowman up to 4th right now as we're cycling through the pit stops. So gonna look, let's see, who's the first guy? Okay, looks like Larson is the first guy who's already come to pit road. Larson is the leading driver of the ones who already came to pit road. Let's see. Behind Larson, it is Gibbs, then Hocevar. So Hocevar lost out to Larson on the cycle here. Suarez, McDowell, Byron, Briscoe. Yeah, Chase Elliott back in 32nd. So it looks like he's going to be at least 10th as of right now. And that's assuming every other person who comes to pit road
and we are live here on YouTube for the...
Sorry. Did not really have my sound on when I refreshed the page and it started playing the start of the stream again. But yeah, there we go. You know, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Sitting through a commercial break. Well, again, right now we're just chilling out. Waiting to see where this next pit stop is going to come from. Is it going to be Hamlin? Is it going to be Reddick? It is. Oh, we got the number 35 of Riley Herbst coming to pit road, it looks like. So yeah, 35 Riley Herbst hits pit road. He will hit his pit stop here. All right, so there you go. Reddick with a nice quick stop. Here comes SVG. SVG into pit as well. All right, here we go. Here comes Busher down pit road. Oh wait, no, where is that Priest? That's Priest, it looks like. No, that's neither. That is Brad Keselowski on pit road. Brad Keselowski is on pit road. All right, so Brad Keselowski coming down pit road. 4 tires and fuel for him as well. As we're starting to hit that lap 40 mark, this is where I think we're going to start to see some of these drivers having to come to pit road because they can't go too much further on fuel. Next week is an off week. If you guys would like to see us stream still, let me know what you guys would like to see me do, whether it's just kind of hang out if you guys would like to see something else. Otherwise, I will probably be doing something on the gaming channel next weekend with the downtime from the NASCAR season. It's the one and only natural break we have in the NASCAR season, outside of Easter Sunday. Even Easter Sunday, I think did we race on Easter this year? I don't remember. I think Trucks and O'Reilly raced Rockingham that weekend, but I don't think Cup race, so. Here comes Hamlin jumping on the pit road. Bowman, Custer, Busher, Chastain, and Zilich. A host of cars were just on pit road, and now here comes Hamlin. Leaving the field in the hands of Tyler Reddick, Corey Heim, Ryan Blaney, Jones, and Nemechek. So we are going to wait and see where everybody ends up finishing here at the end of this one, but it is going to be an interesting one for sure. All right, here we go. Todd Gilliland in the Grillo's Pickles car. Yeah, say, if that car wins the Insane Challenge, that would be awesome. Here comes Reddick, race leader Tyler Reddick coming onto pit road, along with Ryan Blaney coming onto pit road as well. So Blaney and him jumping onto pit road. Corey Heim, Jones, Nemechek, Logano, and Barry are now your top 5. Priest, Bell, and Wallace jump on the pit road as well. Yeah, Priest, Bell, and Bubba Wallace. Okay, a little bit of a slow stop there for Bell. As I say, Bell gets going after 13 seconds in the pits. That is going to hurt him just a little bit. He's going to come out behind Bubba Wallace. Everybody else with some pretty normal stops, aside from Priest, who was a 14-second stop. Jones, Logano, and Smith on pit road now. Here we go. Larson cycling back up towards the front of the field. Looks like Larson could be taking control of the front of the field here when we cycle back around. Hocevar, Gibbs, Suarez, the rest of the top 5 along with McDowell. As of right now, that's impressive. Michael McDowell jumping up there. All right. And we'll see where Chase Elliott cycles out to once these last 4 come to pit road. We got there's the last 4 we're looking for. Here comes Heim, Nemechek, Berry, and Cindric. 2 of the 4 came this time. It's Nemechek and Berry. Heim and Cindric are the last 2 that have yet to pit. McDowell and Byron dueling it out for position here. Here comes Cindric on the pit road. So it is now just Corey Heim at the front of the field who is yet to pit. The last, showing the pit stop times here. Is Kyle Larson's crew was 5.5 seconds faster than Denny Hamlin's pit crew that last time by. So that is, that shows why Larson was able to jump so far above Hamlin. I didn't realize Hamlin had that bad of a stop. Oh! Kyle Larson goes around! Kyle Larson has spun and crashed. Caution flag flies for what would have been the race leader. Say Kyle Larson, one of the first guys to come to pit road, and he spins and crashes here. I think everybody's in a little bit of shock here over this one. Larson taking the wheel off. He is done. He is done for the day. 5 laps short of the stage finish. Now the question becomes: are we going to have a long enough yellow period that Corey Heim may win this stage, or will he have to pit? And will we get a restart? A couple of questions there. So the first one is, will we get back racing? If we are going to get back racing, does Corey Heim pit? I think he has to at this point. Yeah, Gibbs Hocevar, that battle on the restart is going to be epic. Yeah, but man, Kyle Larson though, glad to see he's out the car. We like seeing the drivers being able to at least emerge victorious from these race cars. Grabbing his hat, getting in the truck. All right, what on earth happened? So down into turn 3 and just loses it. Wow. Yeah, he just comes down into turn 3 and just loses control of the back end of the car. It actually did look quite a bit like, I believe, his IndyCar crash. Hopefully he is okay. We'll have to wait until he's out of the infield care center to hear from him, but yep. Man, Larson has had a really rough go of it ever since the 2025 Indianapolis 500. He has not won a race since that crash. Did he have a tire go out before he spun? Or was that by virtue of him spinning? Because if he lost a tire going in there, 1, that tire did not last very long. And 2, The question is that going to be a persistent problem? But that was a good safer barrier, though. Glad we are gonna see him be able to walk away from this one. But yeah, Kyle Larson though spins, crashes. I forgot to set my fantasy lineup for today. That's unfortunate. So I'm gonna have to bench Blaney so I can preserve a use of him. Because I gotta save him for at least a couple of the upcoming short tracks. Yeah, I'd completely forgotten to check my fantasy lineup this morning. All right, here we go. We're gonna say looks like Corey Heim has chosen to come to pit road here. 5 laps to go in this one. 5 laps to go in stage number 1 here. And let's see what we got. All right, they go to commercial break. I'm gonna go grab some water. We'll be right back, guys. back. All right, there we go. We're back though. Currently at a commercial break, but it looks like we are going to get a restart here. Ty Gibbs versus Hocevar versus Heim. Sorry, I don't think Heim is up there because I think Heim came to pit road. So we're gonna see Gibbs, Hocevar, Suarez, McDowell, Byron should be your top 5 for the restart. Yeah, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Here we go. Alright, so yeah, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Alright, we're coming back from commercial break. If we get a restart, it's going to be a very short sprint, and it is going to be a fun one. As they've got Cup champion Kyle Larson out of the infield care center. Alright, here we go. Green flag's out, and Ty Gibbs jumps out to an early jump, but Corey Heim did stay out. Okay, I thought he was going to come to pit road, but here we go. Corey Heim going to try and go for that stage win. Hocevar, again, really slow on the restart. Not sure what is wrong with that car. Here comes Michael McDowell up to third. Can Michael McDowell try and go for something here? Again, it is only a one-lap sprint through turn 3. Looking towards 4. It's Ty Gibbs off of turn number 4. Corey Heim in tow. Michael McDowell third. Stage winner Ty Gibbs. There we go. Mike McDowell, Hocevar holds on to 4th. 5th will be Byron. 6th, Hamlin. 7th, Suarez. 8th, Briscoe. 9th, Busher. And 10th will be Tyler Reddick. All right, there we go. Gibbs continues his breakout season. Yep, absolutely. He is going to be putting on a. Is he up to 4th place in points already, or is this wreck by Larson going to be the thing that puts him there? We're coming back from commercial break, though. All right, here we go. Pit stops are underway, and let's see what's it gonna be. What's the race off pit road going to look like here? I see Byron and I see Briscoe. Did nobody else come to pit road? I mean, I would have assumed some of those guys who were in the 20s on laps since last pit would have maybe come. We're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Alright, so yeah, we're just chilling out here. Alright, let's see. How did our instant challenge do actually at the 1/3 mark? It's like 12th and 34th, so basically where they've been the entire day. That is surprising that they didn't at some point get a little bit better. They were currently under the caution flag for the end of the stage. You guys have not missed a thing. All right, here we go. So it's going to be Gibbs, Heim, McDowell, Hamlin, Hocevar, and Busher. So 3 Spire Motorsports cars together on the inside line behind Gibbs. So then you got on the outside line, you got Heim, Hamlin, Busher, and Reddick. 3 Toyotas in the front 4 line of that line. It's like Kozlowski and Custer in row 4 is going to be interesting. Let's see what they choose to do. All right, here we go. We're waiting to see that pace car pull off and run for cover. Once it does, these race cars will be unleashed, and we will be seeing a run towards the start-finish line. Here we go, off of turn number 4. Here we go, pace car. Dive, 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 run for cover. The pace car is off. Field in the hands of Heim and Gibbs. The young Toyota drivers lead this thing to green as we go green, 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 green flag is out. We are racing here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And let's see what the Spire cars do. You got all 3 of them lined up together. Ooh. You got Tyler Reddick making a point to try and split Suarez off from the other 2. Meanwhile, McDowell follows Gibbs on through and takes second place. Heim, though, does manage to split off Hocevar from his teammate Michael McDowell, but there we go. Everybody gets nice and single file down. Oh, we got jumping all the way down the dirt there. Somebody making an aggressive move. Not sure who that was. Looks like that was Zane Smith in the 38 car making a move all the way down the bottom. He nearly got himself wrecked trying to put a block there. But here we go. Logano versus Blaney dueling it out amongst each other. We'll have to see where Logano ends up finishing. After last week's win, that vaults him back up ahead of into the points fight for the playoffs. I had kind of started to write him off, 1, because he hadn't been performing all that well, and 2, he was below the cut line, but now he and Cindric are both above the cut line for the moment. But Eric Jones, Ryan Preece, Kozlowski, all right there on that cut line. Mike McDowell even is back up inside the top 20. Let's go. Would love to see Mike McDowell jump up into the win column here. If he could make the playoffs, that would be incredible for a small team like his. All right, here we go. But yeah, again, right now, Gibbs has gotten out to the lead. The question is going to be is how far out does he run, similar to his fellow driver there in Hocevar, because Hocevar jumped out to a major lead and then dropped all the way back. Yeah, by the time pit stops were happening. So I'm curious to see if we see Ty Gibbs run out in front the way that Hocevar did, or if we see him potentially exercise some restraint and we won't see it get to a 3-4 second lead overly quick. At least so far in this one, say the short run we've had, Yeah. Gibbs is actually is extended it to almost a 2-second lead. Saying McDowell has Heim right behind him. We'll have to wait and see if any of these drivers start to get impatient or start trying to push really close to the rear bumper of anybody. But at least at the moment, everybody's got just a little bit of breathing room, and Ty Gibbs has a lot of breathing room. Oh, apparently, someone's saying that Google AI Overview is already saying that Christopher Bell has won this race with John Aaron Nemechek finishing second, which would be a crazy string of results. But yeah, I would love to see it. Ooh, Chase Elliott cuts himself up in front of cuts his own tire there as he tried to cut in front of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Oh man, he deserves to get wrecked there. I mean, I'm not necessarily the biggest Elliott fan, and obviously, if you guys know me, I'm a somewhat large supporter of Stenhouse, but this has nothing to do with me not liking Chase Elliott. You can't go and do that to a guy. Shove your nose up the underside of him and then try and chop his front nose off, as you start to complete the pass. You can't do that and expect to get away with it. So Chase Elliott now in the pits, getting that tire looked at here. And my lineup is gonna look terrible. Alright, so there we go. We got Ty Gibbs at number 54 out in front of the field here. Looks like they are going to go to commercial break. Whew. Alright, so here we go again. We're working right through this one. This has been a pretty solid race up to this point. Mike McDowell hanging on to that second position here. Oh, and here comes... Is that Chase Elliott coming back to the pits with another flat tire? Come on, man. At this point, Larson might pass him. we go. It's like Elliot was going to the garage. We're going to have a really rough fantasy day. Alright, again, we're about a third of the way through this second stage here. Gibbs out in front of the field, McDowell in second, Heim to third, Hocevar fourth. Everybody just kind of hanging on here, but as of right now, Gibbs is starting to extend it towards that 3-second bubble window. We'll have to keep an eye on, see if what that may or may not affect. Alright, so they're coming back from commercial break here. Ty Gibbs still out in front of the field. Again, crushing the field here, the same way Hocevar did in the last stage. Seems like that lead position is just so much of an advantage that it even is that you swap the driver chasing and the driver in front, and it still is exactly the same. 3-second gap here, 10 or so laps in. Although I think Hocevar jumped out even quicker there. Let's say, so Blaney, Logano, those guys are starting to hit around 40, 42, 43 laps since the last pit. For people like them, Barry's been out there for 44 laps. So we should be seeing some pit stops coming here shortly. Especially since that pit window is open, now that we've seen they can go even further than we originally thought on a tank. Alright, let's lock back in here, guys. Come on. Again, McDowell's doing incredible today. I'm looking forward to seeing how McDowell does down the stretch here. But if he can put together a few solid runs down the stretch, potentially a win here at Indy going into the break, I mean, he might be able to muster just enough to get into the playoffs here. Is Todd Gillen really still back in the 30s? Yeah, Todd Gillen, 32nd. So, luckily for him, Blaney hasn't gone anywhere. Problem is, Blaney hasn't gone anywhere. Hey, what is going on with Chase Elliott? They keep building the car. I mean, granted, this one was entirely on Elliott. I mean, I don't love saying it, but Chase Elliott shoved his nose underneath Stenhouse to move him off the bottom, then tried to clear himself on Stenhouse's nose. I mean, that was not car related. That was, I mean, I guess being in a position where he had to pass Stenhouse, where he had to muscle his way past Stenhouse, might be a car issue, but his choice as to what to do when passing Stenhouse was not that spectacular. So there we go. Only 3 cars a lap down. Daniel Dye, Casey Mears. See who the last one was. Was it Cody Ware? Probably. Oh yeah, Ty Gibbs. McDowell has dropped to 3.5 back. So here comes Heim to the back bumper of McDowell here. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's not going to hurt Elliott's point standings, but at least today, okay, he's in 5th. I don't know if he'll drop all the way to 10th, but again, today's crash was not the car's doing. It wasn't like they didn't tighten the wheel and the wheel came off or something. All right, Ty Gibbs appears to be doing the classic, the same slow up that we saw from Hosar at the end of the fuel window. So we got near the end of the fuel run. All right, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time, but again, right now, Suarez up inside the top 10. Here comes the first car peeling off pit road. It is Daniel Suarez. Suarez being the first car to peel off the pit road for this second wave of pit stops. And yes, it was Daniel Dye, Casey Mears, Cody Ware. The 3 cars 1 lap down at the moment. And Suarez is going to start this round of green flag pit stops off with a bang. Hopefully a nice quick stop here for Suarez, and we might be able to see him jump up towards the front of the field. Again, Michael McDowell closing in on Ty Gibbs. There we go. Nice quick stop for Daniel Suarez and crew. And waiting on fuel there. Gets it done. 13.2. Here comes Michael McDowell. McDowell jumps onto pit road. Michael McDowell jumps to pit road here, and we're going to see. Is it possible for Michael McDowell to get on and off pit road here nice and cleanly? Alright. So here we go. Nice 4-tire stop here for Michael McDowell. Get those tires on. Wait on fuel, and it's a 15.8 for Michael McDowell. A slow stop there. That's not going to be great. Here comes race leader Ty Gibbs jumping to pit road. Going to hand the lead to Corey Heim and others. So Ty Gibbs jumps out of the lead lap here. Alright, so Ty Gibbs, McDowell, and Suarez all coming off pit road here. And now it's going to be the 67 of Corey Heim out in front of the field. Hocevar to second, Hamlin to third. As I say, we are expecting to see this green flag stop cycle happen earlier in the window than last time. As last time it happened pretty late in the cycle, and to the point where Corey Heim ultimately didn't come to pit road until pretty much the very end of the stage. We're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Alright. Again, Corey Heim out in front of the field at Indianapolis. If he wins 2 races in his rookie year, that will be insane. Because at least the first one was, in all fairness to him, a little bit fluky. That second win, though, if he wins this one today, at least based on what I've seen so far today, it's not going to be a fluky one if he does get it. We had a very clean race. Now, obviously, having 2 Hendrick cars out of the field doesn't hurt, but that could happen at a lot of different races. I mean, the 2 top Hendrick cars both out. Alright, 30 laps into this stage. We're working our way through this one pretty efficiently, but again, some of these guys have got to start being a little bit worried about their fuel levels, because can't imagine that they can all go this far. I'm curious if we might see someone try and make a fuel mileage play to win the Brickyard 400. That'll be interesting to keep an eye on. Here we go. 80 laps in. We are officially halfway through the Brickyard 400. Half down, half to go in the race. Half down, half to go in the race. We are currently 60% of our way through the stage. So, again, right now, Heim, Hocevar, Hamlin. Again, I'm getting curious because at this point we might be able to make it the full 60 laps of the final stage on one tank. I'm starting to think we are going to see somebody try and fuel mileage it all the way to the end of the stage, end of the race here to try and claim victory. Alright, here we go. Hocevar and Busher jumping on the pit road here. Here we go. Alright, Blaney up to 8th. This is going to make that in-season challenge look very staggered. Oh, okay, say Gillen's up to 25th, so we'll see where they end up at the end of the pit stop sequence, but say Blaney could end up missing out on the $1 million if he is not careful. Going all the way up to 25th here. Oh, man. All right, here we go. Coming off the... All right, here we go. Merging back onto track here. Hocevar trying to stay on the lead lap. Merging just ahead of Mike McDowell, but just behind Corey Heim. So now the question is, can Carson Hocevar lead his teammate, Mike McDowell, back onto the lead lap here? Or are the two of them just going to stick there right behind the leader and wait? Because, again, right now it's McDowell, Jones, and Hocevar. The first three guys one lap down. And here we go. Hocevar dumping down, trying to chase that draft. And there we go, trying to keep him swerving. Here comes Hamlin to pit road. Second place, Denny Hamlin jumps to pit road here. And there we go. Daniel Dye was also on pit road recently. But yeah, fuel mileage win could be a really interesting upset here if we aren't ready for it. All right, here we go. Hamlin coming back out on pit road. He's going to get out ahead of... so the question is, can he blend ahead of Corey Heim? He does not get out in front of Gibbs. I believe he is going to clear Heim, though, as Corey Heim continues to swerve, trying to hang on to this spot ahead of Hocevar. So there we go. Denny Hamlin merges ahead of Carson Hocevar and Corey Heim. Corey Heim, though, doing a great job just running this one as smoothly as he can. I'm thinking he may try and stay out the entire stage, which if so, that would put a lot of pressure on some of these guys who have been lapped. Yeah, to see who gets it here, because... Alright, so they're showing the San Diego race. Not sure exactly what. I don't remember this spin specifically. Oh yeah, that was Hocevar getting spun. Alright, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good day. Oh, man. There's a Corey Heim, Reddick 6 seconds back. Blaney's up inside the top 5 now as here comes Bowman and Riley Herbst pit road. Let's say Hocevar's running virtually identical laps to the leader. Shock and surprise since he's been on the leader's rear bumper for at the start of like the last 8 laps or so. So here we go. Bowman, Herbst, Byron, and Allmendinger are all on pit road. Along here comes Mears. They are working their way through this one pretty effectively here. Here we go. Cole Custer jumps to pit road. Again, Ryan Blaney up inside the top 5 here. Alright, so there we go. Everybody's all chilled out here. Custer finishes his pit stop at a 14.3. That's slow, but we'll have to wait and see if that can be remedied a little bit there. Can't wait to see what Heim can do full time. Yeah, Heim next year is going to be dangerous in that number 35 car. Although I would love to see them renumber it to the 67. That way he can keep building his career in the same car number, but we'll have to wait and see. Maybe make the 35 the rotational car for part-timers. And here we go. Tyler Reddick jumps to pit road here. Logano, Blaney, still out behind, all behind Heim at the moment. Tyler Reddick gets his pit stop done and over with. Here comes Logano, Blaney, Bell. Bubba Lawson's SVG also on the pit road, along with Stenhouse. Alright, so here we go again. We're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. So 4 tires for everybody. I'd be willing to bet somebody's going to try a splash of gas at the end of the stage. Gilliland up to 8th here as Austin Hill comes to pit road. Corey Himes managed to jump out quite a bit ahead of his rival there. Oh, Hocevar! Hocevar sticking a hand out the window as he swerved at Heim. I don't know if he was flipping him off or what, but I mean, Hocevar is doing a great job at playing his character, but here we go. Heim to pit road. Yeah, here we go. There's the middle finger being extended out the window at Corey Heim. I initially thought Hocevar was going to come to pit road, and I was like, why would Hocevar make another pit stop when he's just about to get back on the lead lap? So now the question is, we got about 5 laps to go. Are we going to see Barry, Cindric? Are we going to see any of these guys potentially try and make it the distance? I think Barry and Cindric are going to be really interesting to see if they do it. Does not look like they will. I believe they are both probably planning on pitting here this time by. We'll have to wait and see, though. Again, if I'm the 34 of Gilliland, maybe staying out trying to test that fuel mileage, maybe that's exactly what Gilliland needs. Not to mention, if he can prove himself a threat to Blaney, by doing it, that I think would be incredible. It's only 5 laps to go, but 5 laps here can be a long distance. I mean, that's almost 15 miles. That you would have to make it. So, a long distance here for him. Alright, there we go. We're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. I would not have been able to do that if I tried. No idea how many takes it took for that Sam's Club ad to go, but here we go. Here comes Briscoe to pit road. Chase Briscoe comes to pit road. Priest, Chastain, and Gilliland out in front of the field. Uh-oh. I see a flag. What's the yellow going to be for, and who's going to get caught out by it? This time, I believe that caution flag might end the stage, depending on what it's for. I'm going to say, everybody is coming by pit road somewhat cautiously here. So they don't look like they're going race car pace at the very least. We'll see. They're showing off Jeff Gordon, the inaugural winner of the Brickyard back in 1994. Dale Jarrett 2 years later starting the tradition of kissing the bricks. Tony Stewart in 05 climbing the fence as an Indiana kid. Jimmy Johnson going back-to-back in 08 and 09 for the Brickyard, en route to 2 more championships. Yeah, McMurray's amazing 2010 season and when he won the 500 and the Brickyard 400 same year. Bubba Wallace last year winning the Brickyard 400. And Daniel Dye spins, crashes, and we may be seeing the end of the stage right here. So Daniel Dye has spun and crashed. Caution flag is out. The question is, who benefits here, and who is going to be able to prove that, hey, maybe I'm the real threat here? If I'm Gilliland, I think I want to stay out just to prove to Blaney, hey, I got you. So you got Chastain and Gilliland out in front of the field right now for guys who have yet to pit. And you got Gibbs, Hamlin, Heim, the front 3 who have already come to pit road. Priest, who I don't really know what's going on there. Then we got Hocevar, McDowell, who were both at the tail end of the lead lap before Heim came to pit road. Yeah, this should be a fun one. We're at commercial break here. Caution flag is out for Daniel Dye, spinning it and bringing out the caution here right near the end of the stage. Again, I'm expecting that we might see the stage end here under this caution period. So Todd Gillen and Ross Chastain may be your stage winner, your top two in the stage. Chastain being the stage winner and Gillen being second. But I think we'll have to wait and see for sure. Oh, hey, Red Sox win. Let's go. Love seeing a Red Sox win. But yeah, we're just chilling out here waiting for them to come back from commercial break. I will say the pace of this race has actually been really good. Alright, here we go, and it looks like, is this going to be the end of the stage? Yeah, it looks like we are going to be seeing the stage end here under caution flag as they take the white flag 1 to go in the stage. No, sorry, that is 2 to go in the stage. We theoretically could, if pit road was open this past time by, we theoretically could drop the green, but since I'm not seeing a choose cone happening, I'm guessing we're not going to be going back racing before the stage end. Which will mean we are going to be seeing this one run itself out to the stage end, and it will be Ross Chastain, I believe, being your stage 2 winner. Todd Gillen, Gibbs, Hamlin, Heim, Hocevar, Priest being shown in 7th, McDowell 8th, 9th, Jones, and 10th will be Daniel Suarez. Chris Buescher, the first driver to miss out on some of those stage points. And yep, Daniel Dye having an almost identical crash to Kyle Larson's earlier. As they came into turn 3, just losing the back end. And it just slides out from behind. Berkeley. Alright, so again, we're just under commercial break here as we believe the stage is ending here for the second stage here in Indianapolis. just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Alright, we're back from commercial break, and they are just about to cross the yard of bricks here to officially end stage number 2 before we go ahead and open up pit road. So, again, we're going to be here for a little bit. Alright, here we go. As they cross the yard of bricks here to end this stage, it will be Chastain, Gilliland, Gibbs, Hamlin, Heim, Hocevar, Priest, McDowell, Jones, and Suarez. As we said earlier, caution flag is out, and we are currently 2 stages done, 1 stage to go. I'm going to get some more water, and we'll be right back. We won't miss a thing, because they still got pit stop. So we got yellow flag laps and pit stops coming. we didn't miss much. Alright, we are back and ready for this one. Again, we got a 60 lap run to the stage. And again, we've seen multiple drivers try and make it an entire stage without pitting. So the question is, can anyone go 60? Can we see anybody trying to go the 60 laps without pitting? I don't think so, but... Alright, so there we go. Again, we're just chilling here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. One second, guys. Alright, so sorry about that. I was just getting caught up on something that apparently happened back during the Kyle Larson crash. What on earth was Noah Gragson doing? Noah Gragson swerving at Connor Zilic. I mean, he was upset about something, but I have no idea what. But yeah, here we go. We're coming back from commercial break, though. Gibbs, Hamlin, Heim, Hocevar, and Priest, the top five. Mike McDowell drops a bit to sixth here. But he earned stage points in both stages. Now if he can get a top 10 finish, that'll be interesting. So fuel needed to finish. So Corey Heim having the Having the most recent pit stop. We'll only need 11 lap. We'll only need 11.7 gallons of fuel here, apparently, which is yeah. So everybody is short, but the question is how much will they need to take on their potential gas and go pit stop? That is what we're gonna have to wait and see on. But say I'm curious to see what we're gonna end up seeing here. All right, Blaney has reloaded himself in the 15th position. Meanwhile, the other driver of the in-season challenge, Todd Gilliland, has actually gotten up to 27th. This is, I think, the closest the two have been on positioning. Not counting potential situations where Blaney pit and happened to be near Gilliland. There we go. We're just chilling out here, though. Hopefully, everybody is having a good time. We got ourselves 55 to go here. 55 to go in the race. It's going to be a close one to see who can get there. I'd be curious to know if some of these guys who may have come to pit road here and tried to top off on fuel might have been able to jump ahead. All right, here we go. Pace car is off. Field in the hands of Ty Gibbs and Corey Heim as we get ready to go. Green flag's out. We are back to racing. And here we go from the top. Here comes Denny Hamlin to the back bumper of his teammate, of his very young teammate here. Hamlin looking up the inside, not going to get there on his teammate. And looked like he maybe decided he didn't want to try and fit the nose in there because I think he might have been able to get there if he tried, but here we go. That bottom line, though, very important, and everybody's trying to get there. Some people getting there a little bit more efficiently than others. The back half of the field still packed together side by side. Hocevar continuing to try and duck the 76 or the 67 here. And say Corey Heim with a with a great composure about himself here. Hocevar not able to has not been able to rattle the 67's cage quite yet. All right, here we go. Let's see what we got. Oh man, Josh Berry making a great run around the outside there. Yeah, and here we go down the inside. Couple of cars looking for the bottom of the racetrack. Yeah, it looked like say the 19 of Briscoe, I believe, was one of them. I'm not sure who the other one was, but that was nuts. Looks like Byron was the other one. It was the 19 and the 24 were the two cars there diving to the bottom. I thought they were going to hit the dirt with how far down they were going. Here we go. Hamlin and Gibbs side by side for the lead. Door to door, wheel to wheel. Can Ty Gibbs hold on, or will Denny Hamlin take the day? So here we go. Let's see. Gilliland versus Blaney. Gilliland in 30th here, but Blaney has dropped all the way to 19th. It is not that far-fetched to assume that Gilliland could top Blaney here at the very end. And here we go. We got multiple people popping out of line in the back half of the field. Looks like Allmendinger and maybe Ty Dillon? Hard to tell. All right, so Michael McDowell up to 6th place here. Hocevar to 4th. Hocevar still not able to duck the 67. But yet, Todd Gilliland up to the 31st position, trying to work his way back up towards that pesky number 12 car. So yeah, the points as they run right now, Cindric Jones, Priest, Keselowski, all right in that close window. Logano would pass SVG on points here because SVG has not been running overly well and still right now is not running tremendously well. In fact, SVG, yeah, back in 22nd right now for SVG. So, yeah, it looks like Logano will probably be in the playoffs. The question is, who is going to be the one to miss out? Because I feel like, again, there's still somebody in that group that's in right now that I think could very well miss out. So the 60 car is best on fuel to the end. 67 as well. And as I say, you're just watching the foot tapping from the Travis Peterson, McDowell's crew chief here is hilarious. Just seeing like, okay, he knows he's got to make the right call here. Problem is he doesn't know where everybody's at on fuel. Now, if we get a caution, we know where everybody's at on fuel because everybody will pit, everybody will be good, and everybody will proceed to make it. Gilliland up into the top 30 here. There we go. There we go. Gilliland up the middle of 3 wide with a push from his teammate Noah Gragson. A great push there. Out in front. 2-for-1 pass. And there it is. The 34 of Gilliland marching his way. He's within 10 spots now of Blaney for the first time today on merit. And a great push there. That was an awesome push by Noah Gragson. Noah Gragson, great push there. Alright, so yeah, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good day. And here we go. 12 laps into this stage. Again, we're closing in on the end of this one. 48 to go here. Alright, there we go. Yeah, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Again, everybody's just working their way through this one. Gotten down to single file. The question is, can McDowell get by Priest at some point? And will Priest have enough fuel to make it? And it's like if Priest or Heim manage to go the distance, or if they manage to only need the one pit stop like we are expecting them to, we could have a really interesting battle on our hands here. Alright, they're coming back from commercial break here. Well, there goes the fuel mileage talks. Caution flag flies. Yellow, yellow, yellow. Say. Yep, piece of debris they think could be metal, maybe? Yeah. Alright, so they're saying it could be some kind of hose cap that ended up on the racetrack. That's not good. Certainly don't want to risk rolling that over. Hey, Doubled, how's it going? Hey, no worries. We got ourselves a good race. We just got a caution flag that I think is going to put us, be able to run full throttle to the checkers. So we should be in for a good one here. Alright, so yeah, we just got a caution flag. Fuel window is open to make it to the finish of this race. We got Gibbs, Hamlin, Heim, Hocevar, Priest, McDowell, Jones, Suarez, Busher, and Brad K out in front of this field. Should be a good one here. And most of these drivers need about a can to can and a half of fuel. Is what they were saying. They projected the estimated fuel burn was going to need to be. So yeah, here we go. Right, so there we go. They're heading out there to go pick this one up. So after today, every NASCAR Cup Series race is either on USA Network or on NBC, on the network NBC. We do have a 1 week off week coming up between, and then we'll resume on the 8th and 9th at Iowa Speedway. So again, for the off week, if you guys want to see me stream or post something, just let me know what you guys would like to see me talk about. But obviously, we are here. We're getting this one prepared. Yeah, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody is having a good time. And here we go. Pit road should be open, and everybody's coming. Everybody should be coming. If you're not coming to pit road, what are you doing? And yes, everybody's coming to pit road. Every last car. Okay, there's a couple exceptions. I'm wondering if those might be non-lead lap cars that wouldn't be eligible to pit here. Alright, so here we go. The race off of pit road. This might be the most important race. Oh no. I'm not so sure. Hocevar, you're not. I don't think you're within your box here. Kind of blocks Hamlin in. Corey Heim. Corey Heim. 2-tire pit stop. Corey Heim takes the lead. Hamlin, Logano, Bell, Briscoe, Reddick, Kozlowski, and more on taking 2 tires here, jumping to the lead. And man, Hamlin is going to be ticked off at Hocevar for that one, blocking him into his pit box for an extra half second. Oh, Bubba Wallace sent his crew for a little bit of a ride. Man, I'm always scared of those types of things for the drivers and for the crews to see something like that happen, where you have crew members taking glancing blows at a race car. So now everybody should be able to make it from fuel here. The pit crews can start to pack up the boxes because, barring a caution, you're not coming back in. Alright, so yeah, we're just chilling out. Should be getting ready to go back racing here shortly. Yeah, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Let's see where the in-season challenge ended up after that pit stop. Alright, 13th and 21st here is the gap. So we're only separated by about 6 or so spots. Alright, here we go. We're coming back from commercial break. We should have a good run to the checkers here. Alright, so Kalshi has Hamlin at a 43% chance to win this race. That's a large percentage. I certainly would not be. I'd not be one to put that bet down, but actually, as a Reddick was my pick for the race win. Prior was my pre-race pick last night. come on. Let's see the choose cone here, and let's double up and get ready to go back. I will say this caution period is taking quite a while. And here we go. Yep, there it is. 1 to green, 1 to green. We're going to go choose cone here. There we go. Inside, outside, inside, outside. Again, the Spire cars kind of disappeared here after this round of stops because I believe they all took 4 tires. Curious to see if those 4 tires come back to help them or hurt them. I'll say it will be one or the other. It will not be neutral. Oh yeah, there's the trophy there with all the bricks around it with all the winners' names on it. Hard to believe we've had, how many is it now? We're on our 32nd Brickyard 400. So 32 winners of the Brickyard 400, and we got more and more to go. All right, so here we go. Corey Heim versus Ty Gibbs. Why are we showing that comparison? I mean, I get that it's obviously Corey Heim took a lot less time than Gibbs did, but why are we not comparing the two guys on the front row here? I mean, Gibbs took 4 tires and is going to be coming from deeper in the field, yeah. And here we go. Pace car is going to be coming off the off towards pit road. Field in the hands of Corey Heim and Denny Hamlin as we get ready to go. Green flags out. We are racing here at the Brickyard. The battle at the bricks is on. And here we go. 42 to go. 42 laps remain, and we are going to be going green flag racing here to the bottom of the racetrack. Oh, Corey Heim cuts the nose of Joey Logano off. Meanwhile, here comes Denny Hamlin out to the lead of the race. Here comes Bell, Briscoe, Reddick, a lot of Toyota power up near the front of the field. The only non-Toyota in the front 5, you've got Joey Logano. Oh, spin and crash in the midfield. There's Blaney involved. Ryan Blaney, AJ Allmendinger, other cars involved. We're going to have to wait and see exactly who all. Riley Herbst is sideways in the grass. And Ryan Blaney just got involved in a wreck, and this one may have just ended the in-season challenge and handed the lead to Todd Gilliland. The 5th caution flag of the day. You had 1 for Larson, 1 for the end of stage 2, for the end of stage 1. 1 for the wreck that ended stage 3. Then you have the debris caution we were just under, and now this one that has now ended. I'm gonna say Blaney's car actually does not look as bad as it initially did for being involved in that wreck, but we're going to have to see how it performs after being in a wreck. But yeah, that nose got chopped off the 22, and then everything just kind of started stacking up as we head down towards turn 3 and 4. I can see Blaney already on the outside. Somebody's slowing up. What? Oh, somebody got slowed way up. Was that Priest? Hard to tell, but yeah, everybody's getting slowed up. Blaney into the rear bumper of whoever that is. I believe that was the 21 of Barry. Now Priest is slowing up and gets caught on the front bumper of John Hunter Nemechek's car. Nemechek into the fence a lot harder than Blaney did. Blaney actually got off easy there. Looks like Austin Hill got a piece of the wall. As we mentioned, Riley Herbst spun through the grass. And yeah, again, Blaney just being the most notable, but ultimately one of the less actual damage intensive incidents. Alright, there we go. We're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. As I say, Blaney did not get significant damage in this crash. I'm keeping a pretty close eye on Blaney. Blaney does not hit the wall hard. I don't know about that, Greg. Alright, there we go. Alright, so they're going to do 4 tires and fuel, and then they're going to examine the damage and see where they're at. Again, $1 million on the line if Blaney can just get out there ahead of Todd Gilliland. Alright, let's see where Todd Gilliland was in all this, because he passed he passed him as he was spinning. Gilliland just dives to the bottom, barely avoids getting hooked by the 16 of Allmendinger, who spins literally right behind him. And that was McDowell nearly chopping the nose off of the 34 there. All right, I'm gonna run to the bathroom. But yeah, there we go. Alright, there we go. Oh, we got Savannah Bananas on True TV advertisement. Alright, there we go. Fridays are on True TV. Here we go. Getting set for the final 37. There's like 37 to go here. So we now have a very interesting run to the checkers here for the instant challenge. Todd Gillen gets a 10 spot advantage. Ryan Blaney gonna try and run from 30th back up. As if I'm Blaney, I am absolutely going to be trying to run through this field, trying to get back up there. But again, you got to be patient to some extent because you know there's going to be. If you try and run too aggressive, you could end up wrecking yourself again. Alright, we got 5 people hanging out in chat. Thank you for deciding to spend a portion of your very valuable Sunday afternoon here with us as we are getting ready for the final 30 or so laps of the Brickyard 400. We currently have 37, about to be 36 to go here as we are working our way through this one. Currently under a caution flag for the spin and crash of Ryan Blaney, John Nemechek, and a couple others. Chase is in a good spot. Let's see. Which Chase? Talking Briscoe or Elliott? As we get ready to go back racing here, we got Chase Briscoe in 5th is not bad spot. Row 3 inside line here. Heim is by himself on the outside line with a row of Fords behind him. All right, here we go, getting ready to go. Green flag racing here. I see Mike McDowell getting ready behind SVG here. We could see a potential march through the field for them, but I'm hoping for just a solid run to finish out today for him. As I know we can't get it all in one day, not without a win at least. I don't think we can't make up the entire gap and get McDowell into the playoffs, but a good solid run today. Top 10, top 5 maybe. We could really start to start eating into that gap. Just not with Logano inside the top 5 or Keselowski or Priest or SVG. So here we go. We're getting ready for this one. Getting ready to go back racing. Showing a replay. Not sure why, or because this looks like choose cone here. Or did they undo the choose? Because all the cars are back to single file. I thought they just did a choose cone. We were going to be going back racing this time, but now we're single filed up. We are live, so it's not like my TV skipped back a bit, but it looks like we're going to be re-choosing here. Yeah, everybody's thinking they can make it to the end here, so it's everything else. Here we go, doubled up. Ready to go racing. It'll be 35 to go when we take the green. No, sorry, 34 to go. 34 to go when we take the green because we just took 35 to go as we cross the stripe. Alright, we should be going back racing here shortly. Alright, let's see. So we got Blaney in 31st, Gilland in 20th. So that is the gap for the in-season challenge. McDowell is in 19th, and I'm going to be having to try and make that run. Blaney is on the lead lap. He's like the last car on the lead lap, but we'll have to keep an eye on that one. Where was Chase Elliott? That was what I was looking for originally when I pulled this up. Oh, yeah, Elliott's out of the race. That explains what Chase you were probably referring to then. Yeah, Chase Briscoe. I completely forgot that Elliott crashed out too. Alright, here we go. Alright, we're ready to go back racing here. Again, we got Hamlin and Heim on the front row. Row 2 is going to be Bell and Logano. Row 3, Briscoe and Keselowski as we get ready to go green flag racing here. Pace car is off. Field in the hands of the 11 and the 67 as we get ready to go down up towards the Yard of Bricks, and green. Green flag is out. We are racing once again at Indianapolis. Corey Heim, Joey Logano. The field spreads out behind. As here we go, Corey Heim manages to clear. Denny Hamlin gets down in front of him, but not able to hold it. Denny Hamlin looking to the inside. Heim forces him low. Oh, that is not going to make Denny Hamlin a very happy customer here as Corey Heim is going to be holding on to this lead for a bit as here comes Joey Logano looking to try and do the same thing Corey Heim just did. pretty much. Just trying to muscle their way around Denny Hamlin here. And Corey Heim now has Christopher Bell in tow behind him. So Christopher Bell in second. Here comes the battle for third here. You got Denny Hamlin on the back bumper of Joey Logano. You got Briscoe coming up behind him as well. If I'm Hamlin, I might or might not be letting, I might be trying to fight the demons that are telling me to make sure Logano doesn't finish this next corner. But there we go. Briscoe gets by Hamlin. It looks like everybody's kind of just silently just working their way through this one. Blaney up to 30th. He's going to try and march his way up to the Grillo's Pickles machine, but we'll have to keep an eye on that one. Oh, Chase Elliott is back out there. 41 laps down, but he's back out there. And here we go. Here comes the 71 of McDowell door to door with the 47 of Stenhouse. And say, seems like McDowell having a little bit of a rough one here. And here we go. Gilliland versus Blaney. Only about 4 or 5 spots separate the two. And here we go. Gilliland trying to fight every inch he can to try and get by as many cars as he can. All right, here we go again. Right now, that jump out at the front, though. And I say, Heim comes up off the corner a little bit. Honestly, it's not nearly as bad on replay as it looked in the moment with what Corey Heim did to his teammate there. But, yeah, again, Corey Heim hanging out just in front here. All right, here we go. Again, we've got ourselves a pretty good run here to the checkers. We got about 31 laps to go here. Tyler Reddick up inside the top 10. He's my pick for the race today, so hopefully he can find his way up there. Stenhouse and McDowell both making their way up into the top 20. But yeah. Again, Gilliland versus Blaney is going to be an interesting one to see what Blaney is able to do to try and catch Gilliland and what Gilliland is willing to do to try and hold him off. And say Zilich, Hill, Mears, and Herbst all ended up out in that, or off track making repairs currently in that last wreck. Alright, here we go. We're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Only 4 spots separating Blaney and Gilliland. I think we're going to see the two racing for position here. It is not over yet. All right, here we go. Let's see. So, Bell, Heim, Logano, Briscoe, Hamlin. It has been really tough to pass the leader at this point, and even get close to the leader. It feels like, although the front two are actually pretty close comparatively. All right, here we go. On board with Blaney, the in-season challenge. Only 3 spots separating them. The 23 of Bubba, the 16 of Allmendinger. The only 2 cars in between Gilliland and Blaney. This is going to happen at some point. Let's go ahead and skip around to ads for you guys. You guys are awesome for spending a chunk of your very valuable Sunday afternoon here with us as we are working our way through this one. Heim and Bell out in front of the field, though. It's going to be interesting to see where they end up. But again, the in-season challenge is arguably more interesting at this point. $1 million to the winner of the battle for 24th at the moment. SVG and Suarez battling it. Former Spire Motorsports teammates going door to door here. Alright, here we go. Yeah, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. 25 to go. And Blaney gets by Bubba Wallace. It is gonna, we're getting closer and closer to this battle here. Alright, give me 1 second, guys. Alright, there we go. Yeah, we are. We're chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. A friend of mine in our racing group chat sent something, so I was trying to hear what he had to say, but it was nothing. But yeah, here we go. Again, Blaney, only 1 car separating him and Gilliland. The battle for the lead is close, but I don't know if Bell versus Heim is as interesting at the front of the field as this battle in the mid-pack. As Heim has been giving up ground to the leader has been giving up ground as the leader every single lap for the last 4 in a row, but at some point you're gonna question, can Corey Heim just hang on and hold on to this lead for 23 more laps? If he can, if he wins 2 races his non-rookie year, that'll be insane. Going into his rookie season with 2 wins already under his belt, kind of reminds me of his truck career. Getting a 2-win season in his part-time schedule before going full-time the following year. All right, so 22 to go. 22 to go. let's see again. This battle for the Instant Challenge is going to be awesome. Again, right now, the only person separating them is the 25th place car of AJ Allmendinger. Right now, you've got Denny Hamlin starting to put some pressure on the back bumper of Briscoe as the two of them have kind of lost the back of Joey Logano. There's a pretty sizable gap both in front and behind Joey Logano, so he's kind of in a world all his own at the moment. Alright, there we go. Hopefully, let me know who you guys want to see win this race. And what are you guys going to do with your off week? I would love to hear some suggestions as to what you guys are going to do with your off week. Because, yeah, no NASCAR O'Reilly, no Cup, no Truck, no ARCA, probably. I don't know about ARCA, but I know no Truck, O'Reilly, or Cup next week. So it looks like Logano is actually closing in on the leaders here. Bell may really want to try and get by Heim here so he can lead. With his veteran experience, if I'm Heim, I might even consider asking, hey, Bell, you want to lead for like 10, 15 laps so that I can learn what I need to win the race in the final 5? I would be shocked if he doesn't at least consider that, hey, that could be useful. Alright, so here we go again. Logano's inching closer and closer to the back bumper of Christopher Bell. Everybody is doing their absolute best to try and hang on here, but it is going to be a tough one to hang on the entire way. Ooh. 19 laps to go here. Logano continuing to close in even more. If he finishes in this spot, he'll jump up a bunch of spots on the points. He'll jump Bubba. He'll jump Van Gisbergen. Man, Joey Logano's in a really good spot if he can finish this one out. Now, at the top of the board, you got Hamlin ahead of Reddick. Blaney, though, still a little ways back here. Biggest movers, you got Bell, Cindric, and Priest. I'm assuming that's the biggest movers since the start of the race. So far, Gibbs led the most laps on the day. Corey Heim, though, he's only 6 away from catching Ty Gibbs for most laps led of the day. Hocevar in third at 31. So we are working our way through this one. 18 to go here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Alright, 3 people hanging out in chat. Thank you guys for everybody hanging out and choosing to spend a portion of your very valuable Sunday afternoon here. And again, Logano's closing in. He's starting to smell the blood. Alright, here we go again. We're just chilling out. Blaney, not Blaney. Logano has consistently been cutting into this lead duo here. Over the last 4 laps or so, he's eaten in almost half a second of time. They are chewing their way through this one. Something fierce. Mike McDowell starting to claw his way back up from 20th. But it is. All right, here we go. So that Pickles machine hanging on. He's got Allmendinger behind him as the kind of only buffer between himself and Blaney. Ryan Blaney, if he wants the win in the in-season tournament, he needs to get by. He needs to get by Allmendinger. He needs to get by the Pickles machine. If he can't do that, he loses $1 million. Now, if the Pickles machine can hold him off, we very well could be seeing a very interesting a very interesting in-season challenge winner. Because unlike last year Ty Gibbs pretty much had to win all day long over Ty Dillon. Today it's actually there's been a few incidents that have put it close, especially the spin for Blaney, but ultimately I feel like this matchup has been even further off because it's like, okay, you've got a guy who's never won a cup race fighting against another guy who's never won a cup race. It's insane that those were the two guys fighting for it, but there really wasn't a super great. Both of them are quote unquote silver spoons, depending on your definition of that term. Suarez and Van Gisbergen dueling it out for 16th and 17th. So we got some good battles going on around the track. I just need NBC or not NBC, TNT to put the camera on it. We get it. Logano's still circling. All right, here we go. Let's see. Showing a replay of the one of the Joey Logano pit stops here, and again we're working our way through this one. Again, Joey Logano continuing to put this pressure on these two. All right, here we go again. The Logano continues to try and close in. He actually was a little bit slower that last time by than the leader, which is actually a bit surprising here. Man, we've been live for 3 straight hours today. 11 laps to go. Come on. Christopher Bell hanging on tight here. All right, in-season challenge. I'm talking about it again. Half a second separating Blaney and Gilliland, but there's still the annoying fact that there's that other car in the mix, too. All right, come on. All right, here we go. Come on. Show Blaney trying to get by A-Home there. This has got to be interesting. Come on. All right, here we go. Ryan Blaney getting to the back bumper of A-Home there. All right, here we go. Blaney looking up the inside. Not going to get there. All right, here we go. Yeah, we are just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Man, Blaney not able to make much progress on that leader. Or not on the leader, but on the one car in between himself and Gillen, so he can try and go for the million. But now we've got Corey Heim starting to stretch a bit of a gap between himself and Bell, but Bell has now also brought Logano right into the mix here. 9 to go, now 8. 8 more laps to go here. Corey Heim out in front of the field. All right, here we go. Yeah, Corey Heim is doing an amazing job. If Corey Heim wins this race, we will have to stand and take notice here. All right, so here we go. Man, Corey Heim running really low there. 7 laps to go, hanging on down the back straightaway. Bell, Logano. These three are going to be a dogfight here to the end. All right, here we go. 6 to go. We're working through this one pretty quick here. 6 laps to go. The Joe Gibbs Racing cars, 2nd, 4th, 5th, and 12th for Ty Gibbs. The worst of the Joe Gibbs Racing cars is only 12th. Yikes. An absolutely crushing day for anyone else. Let's see. All right, here we go. Corey Heim still holding on to this lead. Bell has not been able to dig into it much at all. Suarez and SVG going back and forth yet again. Yeah, we're not going to get to see that battle. Ryan Blaney, 0.8 of a second off of his goal to try and get that million. He needs to get by Allmendinger first. That is first and foremost the goal. And then it's, can he send it on the 34? And the answer, it's going to be tight. That's for sure. But here we go. Coming down to the checkers. Gonna say, it's going to be tight here all the way through. All right, here we go. 4 to go. 4 laps to go here. All right, 4 to go. Here we go. Coming down to 3. 3 laps to go. 3 more times around. 3 laps around a big 2.5 mile super speedway. Okay, 7.5 miles remaining. 7.5 miles to go here for Heim for Bell. All right, come on. Oh man, Blaney's gonna come up a couple spots short. It looks like. Here we go, coming to 2 to go. 2 to go here this time by 2 laps to go. Heim versus Bell for the win. Blaney versus Gillen for the in-season challenge. We're gonna have 2 great finishes here. All right, here we go. So going by some slower traffic there, John Hunter Nemechek. And off of turn 3, coming towards 4. It's going to be the white flag this time by. All right, white flag this time by Corey Heim out in front of the field at Indianapolis. 1 lap to go. It's Heim, it's Bell, it's Logano. 3 cars under a blanket for the race lead. Logano's drifted back slightly, so now it is probably only going to be Bell or Heim unless the 2 come together. It does look like Heim has a good shot at it. Can Bell find some way to get around him here in 3 and 4 down the back straightaway, looking for the victory? I don't know if Christopher Bell has it left in him. I think he's too far back at this point as they are through the middle of turn 3. Coming off of turn number 4, you cannot J.R. Hildebrand yourself. Yeah, like in the 2011 Indy 500, he avoids smacking the fence, and it's going to be Corey Heim winning his 2nd career NASCAR Cup Series race. And it's the Brickyard 400. This kid is going to be electric next year when he's a full-time driver. Christopher Bell, 2nd. 3rd, Logano. 4th is going to be Briscoe. But before we get to that, off of turn number 4, it's Todd Gilliland, the $1 million winner of the in-season tournament. Thank you to AJ Allmendinger for playing the bodyguard there. And that is awesome. Todd Gilliland just won $1 million. There we go. That was awesome. All right, where did all right, Reddick all the way down in 10th. That's gonna suck on the points for me, but that's. But yep. All right, so there we go. All the Corey Heim crew members running down to go celebrate with the team. And here we go. Corey Heim coming. That was an awesome one. Now, honestly, a very quick race, too. Only about 3 hours start to finish. I mean, that's not bad. All right, here we go. Do not burn out on the bricks, please. Okay, there we go. You can do your burnout there. You can do it on the front stretch. You just cannot do it on the bricks. And there it is. There's a Corey Heim in the 67 car has managed to get himself his second career win. This time it's the Brickyard 400. Man, how did those tires have that much left in them? Because he is just laying down a thick layer of smoke. And he stops it just short of the bricks. Let's go. All right, man. Corey Heim got the win. As per usual, if you guys are just here for the race reaction, obviously with the race being over, that'll be the end of that. But as per usual, we will go through the full finishing order. So if you want to know where your favorite driver finished, we will get to that. But until for next week, for the off week, feel free to comment down below. Let me know what you guys want to see. If you guys want to see a stream, if you guys want to see some other type of video during the off week. But there we go. Corey Heim celebrating on top of the car. But yeah, we do have an off week for the NASCAR Cup, O'Reilly, and Truck Series. So we'll see what we end up doing. Might end up, yeah, we'll see what we end up doing here. But there it is. Full finishing order is going to be, as we know, it was Corey Heim out in front of the field. Okay, I got to refresh my scrolling one. Here we go. All right, so we got Corey Heim first. Bell second. Logano comes home third. Fourth will be where we find Chase Briscoe. Fifth, Denny Hamlin. Sixth, Brad Keselowski. Seventh is going to be Josh Berry. Eighth, Ryan Preece. Ninth, Hocevar. And rounding out the top 10 will be Tyler Reddick. 11th will be Chris Buescher. 1 second, let me get this refixed on here. There we go. Yeah, they're talking to Corey Heim out here in front of this one. Ty Gibbs 12th. 13th for Cole Custer. A great run for him. He had a great qualifying performance. 14th, Austin Cindric. And rounding out your top 15, Zane Smith. Yeah, SVG coming home in the 16th position. 17th will be Daniel Suarez. 18th is where we find Michael McDowell, who had an incredible early run today. Just did not, after the 4 tires at the kind of last crucial pit stop of the day, ultimately doesn't end up finding anything. He ends up coming home 18th. Alex Bowman, the newly announced incoming retirement, coming home 19th. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. will round out your top 20. William Byron coming home 21st. 22nd will be Noah Gragson. 23rd will be Ross Chastain. 24th, the $1 Million Man, Todd Gilliland. The youngest Brickyard winner in history, or youngest Brickyard winner since Jeff Gordon, at least. Yeah, in the very first one. So there we go. But yeah, Todd Gilliland, 24th. Enough for the $1 million. AJ Allmendinger, 25th. Ryan Blaney, 26th. 2 spots short of the $1 million. Eric Jones comes home 27th. 28th for Bubba Wallace. 29th is Austin Dillon. And rounding out the top 30.